the funny music master with rhymes so true. From sudden death roots to folk so star. Devo Spice is here and he's raising the bar.
So what happened was, right after lockdown, I got this itch in me to start making movies again. And I joined a local school in New Jersey, film school. I was like, all right, clearly I'm doing something wrong. I have to figure out what I'm doing wrong. And the main thing I learned from the New Jersey film school wasn't the techniques or everything. There was some good stuff there, but I was not planning the project well enough, and that, like, I didn't have a shot list or anything like that. So that whole planning, and that makes sense, because planning ahead is another thing that I suck at. Marketing and planning ahead are two things I am terrible at. So that was a big kind of eye-opening experience. So I took a whole bunch of classes at the New Jersey Film School, had a lot of fun, learned a lot, met some great people. And then one time they listed off all the classes they had coming up, and one of them was acting for filmmakers. And I was like, oh, I should probably take that. I'm probably going to want to be in one of my films at some point. And at this point, I hadn't even made any shorts or anything. And I went to sign up for the film for that class, and it was full. And I was like, oh, well, now I want to take an acting class. So I just Googled, and I found an acting class about a half in Rockaway, New Jersey. And I started taking classes with them and loved it, just fell in love with it. And after a few classes, I made friends with a whole people and started thinking about making a movie. And the first one I did was when my son, my middle child, is a competitive swimmer. He's in college right now, swimming for the and he was in high school at the time, and the New Jersey State Championships were taking place in Pennsylvania. I don't know why, but that's what happened. So I was like, all right, I'm going to be 4 or 5 days with nothing to do for a large time. I'm like, I can get caught up on all these projects I have to do for the Fump and my music. I can write another song and stuff. And my brain kind of went, no, you're going to make a movie. And I went, okay, I guess I'm going to make a movie. So I wrote a script that I could film in a cheap motel with just me, one actor, one location. So the storyline is just a reluctant business traveler shows up at the last hotel room available in the city and gets haunted by the ghost who resides in that room. So I filmed it while I was there with the help of Jeff Whitmire, another Fump artist who happened to live like 10 minutes from where that hotel was. Jeff is also he does comedy songs, but his shtick is like parody songs about horror movies. So like that's his thing. So I texted him. I'm like, hey, you want to help me film a short horror film? And he was like, do I? And he showed up. So yeah. So I filmed it. And then in school, I went and in class the next week, I talked to one of my friends and I'm like, hey, I need a girl to play a ghost in a film. I know you have a green screen, because I've seen her TikToks where she superimposes herself into scenes from Supernatural. Right. So it's like Sam and Dean say something and then she's there going, oh, and so I'm like, well, here's a girl with a green screen who knows how to use it. And she was like, yeah, I'd love to. So we shot her part over Zoom. She filmed it herself in her room and I directed her over Zoom. And it took probably like 2 or 3 hours of us, moving the camera and getting the shot set up and stuff. And the whole time I'm expecting her to go, I don't really want to do this. Like, can we let's not, like my other friends had done. But no, she's an actress. She wants to be an actress, and she was all on board with this project. So that was my first short. It's called Room 259. It's available on Vimeo if you want to look it up. It's a short horror film. It's not great, but it exists. It was a good one to.
You started a project. You conceived of a project. You started the project.
Yes.
You finished a project. You put a project out there. Yes. It's great. Period. And anybody.
And after all the false starts.
Yeah. Compare what.
And after all the false
starts with compare it to what I've done. Yeah.
Yeah. It was like a monumental achievement just getting this short done, because it was something I filmed. I wrote it, I directed it, I filmed it, and it's done. And I submitted it to film festivals and it got into a few. you know.
Nice,
It
congratulations.
didn't like tear up the
Awesome.
film festival circuit, but it got into a few, and I got to go to these film festivals and see my movie projected with all these other ones. But what I realized was, like, there's a lot of people making really good horror movies right now. Not a lot of people making really good comedies, or at least at the time. Now we got Naked Gun and Weird the Al Yankovic Story and some other good stuff. But, you know, at the time there was like spoofs were still dead. You know, we've still got more coming, but I was like, I'm going to focus on comedy. So the second short I did is, have you seen the horror film Talk to Me?
I have not. No, Zaz.
Yes,
Okay,
it's yes. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Pop it
It's
on.
There's a cursed hand.
Yep.
You touch the hand and say talk to me, and then a ghost appears in front of you.
Yep.
So I did a parody of that called Talk to the Hand, and that's also available on Vimeo. You can look
okay.
that up.
Yeah, we're watching that.
And
We're watching
it's a it's a short like 15-minute, you know, spoof comedy of Talk to the Hand, where instead of just summoning random ghosts, you're summoning dead celebrities. So you're the ghosts of dead celebrities. So that one came out great, and also played a bunch of film festivals. And then the most recent one I did is called Sex Offender Counseling Class, where I learned that these were a real thing, and I was like, what the hell happens at a sex offender counseling class? And then my brain just started going. I'm like, I could do that. Oh, let's do that. And then a script came from there. So that was a really easy shoot, because we shot that at the school where we take acting
You
classes.
could also put
So I just
celebrities
showed
into
up
that
and
one.
you could, yeah, absolutely. So that one's played in 2 festivals so far. I'm still shopping that one around. So that one, it's out there. I can send you the link if you want to see it, but it's password
I would like to
protected
see it
because I'm still doing the festival circuit.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I can't let it out. I would like to see it. Of course, that sounds.
Sure.
We're gonna, as soon as we're done here, I'm pretty sure at least 2 of us are gonna watch at least one of those. So
I just want to say there needs to be. You remember how like movies used to come in packs of like 2 or 3 and be sold like as bulk? I think Talk to Me should be packed with Talk to the Hand, because while Talk to Me is absolutely fascinating, everything about it, like the idea, the way it's shot, is gorgeous, and the sound. It is wildly depressing to the point where you're like, maybe I'm going to wait before I watch it again. If you put that with Talk to the Hand, I feel like that's just the perfect palate cleanser. That after that movie, you're like, wow, I'm depressed. Hold on a second and put that in.
Yeah.
Sounds like
Hang
sounds
on,
like
let me show you. Let me show you something.
I hope I didn't spoil. Okay, I was gonna say I hope I didn't spoil it.
I don't think.
What are
so
you talking
about?
This is the hand prop that I made for Talk to the Hand, and you see I've got the Konami code on here. I've got the video game things there. What does that say?
It is indeed magical.
You have
says not for
Easter eggs.
rectal
Your
use.
Easter eggs.
Yeah.
My
and
God.
then this is a map of the New York City subway. I forget exactly where. I've got one fingernail colored in, and then there's a
Pendulum.
there's a mustache tattoo on the finger there. So I added all these stupid little gags that like you'd never see in the film. You know, I tried to. Oh, there's a tic-tac-toe game going on.
Of course.
So
Of
you know,
course.
I tried to make it as obvious as possible in the movie, but you can only pick up so much.
The tic-tac-toe game. Tell me it's an impossible variation. Like it's a move that can't happen.
No, it's just a regular tic-tac-toe.
That's my kind of Easter egg. Like somebody have to look at it and go, "You can't do that."
Oh yeah, and then they keep out of reach of children.
Of course. That is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I would love to see that. Please.
And just think, if they make a sequel, you have bookends. Sorry.
Yeah.
Once Upon a Crime. Can you tell me about that?
Once Upon a Crime. Oh. Okay. So I was in a short horror film called I Know It's Ben Crane, which is about an ibis, where this ghost comes back and just starts raping women. It's a really rough movie to watch. and I play a guy whose wife was killed by this ghost at some point earlier. I'm just acting in this film. I didn't write or direct it or anything. And this is a short that my acting teacher, Joshua Nelson, wrote and directed. And he also wrote and directed a couple others that are also like crime thriller horror type movies. And he's decided to put them all three of those together into an anthology film called Once Upon a Crime. Which is now available. Is it now available or soon to be available on Amazon and places like that?
I believe it's now available, but I didn't find a place to stream it, but I was looking it up and it says 2025 and I want to say last month.
Okay.
It came out.
Yeah.
I'm not positive.
I think it came out recently. They're good shorts. They are not for the faint of heart, but they are good shorts.
Yeah, we interviewed earlier this year the director of In a Violent Nature, and it's one of those movies like you're gonna love it if you like horror, but if you're a little squeamish, it's not for you. But yeah, I like a good horror, especially this time of year. It's a wonderful time for it. Have you before we get out of here, I just want to know, is there anything you want to promote upcoming? We're running out of time, and I don't want to keep you forever, and I could because I mean the video game collection behind you alone is another hour of conversation. But I want to make sure we promote what you have going on if you have anything going on. If not, it was just great talking to you.
This weekend, I'm going to be appearing at Con on the Cob in Richfield, Ohio. ConOnTheCob.com for info about that. And the big thing I want to plug is the Dr. Demento tribute album, Fruits of the Smogberry Trees, that I put together with various members of the FUMP. This is a 2 CD set of songs about in tribute to Dr. Demento and covers of his most popular songs. So we have a cover of Dead Puppies, we have a cover of Shaving Cream, a cover of Fish Heads, all the Cockroach That Ate Cincinnati, all the classics.
So that's something I was curious. Did you ever get to meet any of these old Dr. Demento stalwarts like Bill Mumy or the people that wrote these songs?
Yeah, I've never met Bill Mumy. I missed him actually because when I was a kid, my favorite sci-fi convention was in Long Island called Icon, and he was a guest there one year that I couldn't make it, and I just didn't know he was there. I didn't know who he was, but my father came home from the convention, and I had come home from college, and I missed the convention, but he goes, "Hey Tom, I went to the cabaret, and I got to sing Fish Heads." I went, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, the guy who wrote Fish Heads was at the cabaret." And I was like, "What?" So yeah, I haven't met him, but I did at FUMP Fest in 2023. We had Ogden Edsel as our guest of honor. So Bill Frenzer and Bill, I forgot the other Bill's name. Crap, the other Bill, the two Bills from Ogden Edsel were there, and they put on a great show. Yeah, they put on a great show.
Does Julie Brown still get involved in any of this? She was one of my all-time favorites in the late 80s. And then,
I actually tried booking her for FUMP Fest one year, and the response I got back from her manager was no thank you. And I was like, is this because I don't have enough money or because she didn't seem interested? And he was like, yeah, she just didn't seem interested. So I was like, okay.
I believe she's moved on. I actually went out and bought her EP on cassette. It has like a 5 song. It had a couple songs that were not on her later Earth Girls Are Easy full CD. And I was that early of a fan, and I went out and I had like child money to buy an album, and I had like all the world to pick from, and I picked her. So it was like always been one of those, like, that's how much I was into Dr. Demento and the music of that time. Like I would pick that over, like Quiet Riot or whatever band I was into at the time. Like I'm going comedy.
Yeah,
this is even better.
My big hunt for when I was getting into the music was trying to get all of Alan Sherman's albums and all of Tom Lehrer's albums. Like those were the big holy grails for me. And I did eventually get them all. Many were damaged in a flood, unfortunately, but I still have them.
Hey, I'm one of those people also, if I have something damaged or stolen or whatever, I immediately just start that quest again. I'm like, the world is not taking this from me. I did it once, I'll do it again. And I actually, speaking of the video game collection, do you have any largely complete video game collections? I'm going to totally off the cuff that one for you.
No, I don't collect them for the sake of collecting them type thing. I buy them to play them, and then I don't get rid of them.
All right, I'll do a hot take for you, and we'll say goodnight. Be sure to visit Tom's website, follow him on Instagram, support his live works, and if you get a chance to see him live, do it. Absolutely do it. And if you don't believe me, go watch the video on his YouTube channel. I forget the full title of the thing. You'll find it. It's a live show. It's an hour and a half at least, I think, long, maybe 2.
It's like I think it's like a 3-hour video because it's the
3
entire
hours.
night. Yeah,
it's sort by length. You'll find the right video. You want to see Devo Spice live. You want to meet Tom. Tom, thank you very much. And my hot take question for you before we get out of here: Virtual Boy, good game system or not?
I see. I'm kicking myself because I didn't buy it when it came out, and like I didn't buy it because I didn't think it was going to be any fun. I tried it in store and stuff, and then like they discontinued it. And I was at Toys R Us one day, and they were selling the system with all 14 games, and I was like, "I'll get it next time," and I never got it. So I'm still kind of kicking myself for not getting that because that would have been my one complete video game system. But I didn't play it enough to say if it was good or bad. But I'm curious to see what the Switch the peripheral that they're coming out with is.
It'll be way better. It'll be way better. It was actually, I call it a win. I'm glad it lived as long as it did and then died because there's not a lot. It had moving parts, like a spinning mirror in it. So like if it had serious use for a long time, I'm pretty sure mine upstairs still works, but it was a fun system and it tried to do something neat. And I always, I don't know, I like bringing it up because to me, that was a great piece. I got it for $45 at a Kmart store.
Nice.
Whenever they were getting rid of all of them, and I'm like, I have to buy this now, and I kept it forever. And then I went and I bought games as I could find. There's a lot of Japanese releases that you would have to search for the complete collection. My closest collection was in television, actually. For whatever reason, those cartridges were much easier for me to find where I am. So I built that up, and eventually. Anyway, hey, I want to thank you for being here. We got off topic, and that's what we do because we're actual nerds.
That's what I do,
And I want to thank you so much for being here. It's been great meeting you. You've taken me down memory lane. I can't wait to see your acting stuff and what you're up to now, along with all of I think you had 88 songs on the Fump.com, along with your prolific music career.
Something like that, yeah.
It's a lot, and it's impressive.
Did you count all the sudden death ones too?
I didn't. I just counted what was under your name.
Okay, there's a whole bunch.
It was a rough count.
Another 20 or 30 under sudden death,
yeah.
So.
As you keep doing stuff, you get better and better. And anybody who's put that kind of work and time into what they love, you can tell this is a love. This is something that matters. It's quality. So go out and support Devo Spice here. And thank you, Tom, for being here. I had a blast.
Thanks so much for having me. This was great.
Thank you so much. I hope you have a fantastic night. Everybody else out there, we have some interviews coming up. Coming up soon. We have, I don't know what, Josh, if you have any slides prepared. Next week, is it Bill Slevin?
Bill Slevin's next week. Yep.
Bill Slevin is next week. He is our resident ghost hunter. You've seen him on all the TV shows. He'll be talking to us about his latest happenings, hauntings, and ways you can get involved. That's what we have going on. Everybody be safe out there. Have a great night. See ya. Have a great one. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful night. Be safe out there. Treat each other well.